Losing a life partner is a deep wound that no words can fully capture. It's not just the agony of a broken heart. It's an entire familiar world collapsing in an instant. One day, you're sharing meals, smiles, and small dreams with them. The next, you're facing a chilling emptiness and a mountain of decisions pressing down on you. In the storm of grief, it's easy to be swept into hasty choices, selling the home filled with memories, shutting out the world, or seeking a new harbor to fill the void. But do these steps truly bring peace, or do they only pile on more regret and pain? I once heard about Margaret, 74, who sold her 40-year home just months after her husband's death. She thought it was a way to start over, to lighten her load, but soon realized she'd lost the one place still holding his warmth, a sanctuary she could have turned to in her darkest days. Then there's Walter, 78, who locked his doors to friends and family, only to find loneliness gnawing away at what little vitality he had left. Stories like these aren't rare, and they all stem from one truth. When you lose a spouse, it's easy to lose yourself in your own grief. Grief, the pain of loss, is a personal journey with no fixed map or timeline. Yet, while each person navigates it differently, there are common pitfalls anyone can stumble into without care. These are decisions that seem right in the moment but leave lasting consequences, from financial turmoil and failing health to wounds that never heal. So how do you protect yourself in the most fragile phase of life? How do you move through grief without pushing yourself into new depths? In this article, we'll explore 5 things you should firmly say no to after losing a spouse, 5 traps many unknowingly fall into, only to realize they weren't ready. These aren't just warnings. They're a compass to help you find clarity, dignity, and the support you deserve. From holding off on major financial moves to opening up to loved ones and learning to let go at the right time, each step is an act of self-love. Stay with me to the end, because what's coming isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's a light to guide you through the darkness toward a gentler tomorrow. Let's begin. Underscore 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 underscore. 1. Making big financial decisions too soon. Why haste can hurt. Losing a spouse is a seismic shift, leaving you not just with grief, but with an avalanche of decisions demanding attention. Among the most urgent are financial choices. Suddenly, you're juggling bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and maybe even the daunting question of keeping or selling your home. In the fog of sorrow, acting fast can feel like a way to regain stability or control. But here's the hard truth: grief clouds judgment. Rushing into major financial decisions soon after such a loss is a common mistake widows and widowers make, often leading to regrets that outlast the initial pain. Take Margaret, a 74-year-old widow who faced this crossroads. After her husband passed, well-meaning voices, friends, family, even advisors, pushed her to downsize her home right away. It made sense: less upkeep, lower costs, a fresh start. So, within months, she sold the house they'd shared for 40 years and moved to a small apartment in a new town. But as the shock faded, reality hit. She missed her old neighborhood, her neighbors, the comfort of a memory-soaked home. Looking back, she saw she'd acted out of panic, not clarity, and wished she'd waited. Margaret's story isn't uncommon. Many find that choices made in grief's heat don't hold up when emotions settle. Why does this happen? Grief isn't just emotional, it's cognitive. When your heart's heavy and your mind's reeling, decisions that seem logical, like selling property or investing big, may not serve your long-term good. Worse, this vulnerability can draw financial predators eyeing your distress. Unsolicited investment offers, pushy sales tactics, or even misguided advice from loved ones can steer you into irreversible errors. Another trap is giving away money or assets too soon. Grief can spark a urge to help others, kids, grandkids, charities. But generosity now can leave you exposed later, when your needs fully emerge. What's the wiser move? Pause. Experts often suggest the 1-year rule. waiting at least 12 months before major financial commitments. This cushion lets the emotional storm pass, giving you time to process and regain clarity. Learn from Margaret. The months after losing a spouse are for emotional adjustment, not financial gambles. Seek a trusted professional who understands your long-term needs, not just your immediate urges, to guide you through this fragile time. Whether it's real estate, investments, or gifts, the best choices rarely come rushed. The first year after such a loss should focus on stabilization, not upheaval. Losing a spouse is already one of life's hardest shifts. You don't need financial missteps adding strain. Take your time, get solid advice, and remember, there's no deadline for these decisions. Let clarity, not grief, shape your financial path. By stepping back, you safeguard not just your wallet but your peace of mind, ensuring your actions come from confidence and purpose. Underscore 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 underscore. 2. Isolating yourself from friends and family, the loneliness trap. When a spouse dies, the world can feel unbearably empty, and the urge to retreat is powerful. Grief is deeply personal, and solitude often seems the only way to grapple with it. A few quiet moments alone are natural, even needed, but completely cutting off friends and family? That's a mistake that can deepen your sorrow and stall your healing. Isolation might feel like a shield, but it can fast become a cage, trapping you in loneliness that grows harder to escape the longer it lingers. Consider Walter, a 78-year-old widower. After his wife of 52 years passed, he stopped taking calls, skipped family events, and rarely left home. He told himself he wasn't up for talking, that no one could grasp his grief, that being alone was simpler. Months dragged on, and instead of solace, he sank deeper. His days blurred, his energy faded, his appetite dwindled. It wasn't until a persistent neighbor pulled him over for coffee that things shifted. That chat turned into a weekly habit, then a small routine with friends. The more he connected, the lighter he felt, not because his grief vanished, but because he saw he didn't have to bear it solo. Why is isolation so risky? Humans need connection, especially in loss. Studies show prolonged withdrawal can heighten sadness, anxiety, and even physical decline, weaker immunity, higher blood pressure, a shorter life. On the flip side, staying tied to others, even lightly, can ease the emotional load and provide vital support. Walter's shift didn't demand big leaps. It began with a coffee. The takeaway? You don't need to dive into crowds, just take small steps to stay linked to the world. Yet many fall into this pit, convincing themselves they just need time. Grief can breed irritation or exhaustion, making it tempting to push away those who care most. You might feel they don't understand, that their words miss the mark. But their presence alone can matter more than what they say. Letting them in, even a bit, can bring unexpected comfort. Another error is thinking you're a burden. Truth is, those who love you want to help, even if they stumble through it. The trick isn't forcing social overload before you're ready. It's balance. Answer a call, take a short walk with a friend, sit quietly with someone you trust. If talking's too hard, just listen. Being near people can remind you life continues, that support's there when you need it. Connecting with others who face this, via support groups, meetups, or online forums, can also be a lifeline. They understand in ways others might not, validating your feelings and showing you're not alone. Grief has no timetable, no right way to heal, but total isolation only makes it tougher. Walter's story proves small, steady reconnections can build strength, support, even surprising joy. You don't have to carry this alone. People care, want to stand by you, and can help you move forward one step at a time. Don't let loneliness win. Reach out even slightly and let healing start. Underscore 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 underscore. Underscore, 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 underscore. 3. Ignoring your own health and well-being. A silent cost of grief. Losing a spouse can swallow you in grief, so overwhelming that your own health fades into the background. Doctors' visits get pushed off, meals skipped, routines unravel, all eclipsed by the weight of loss. Some even feel guilty about self-care, as if tending to themselves somehow dims their love or sorrow. But neglecting your well-being doesn't honor your spouse or ease your pain. It only makes the path ahead harder. Grief doesn't just shatter your heart. It can break your body too if you let it. Take James, an 81-year-old widower. After his wife died, cooking lost its charm. He wasn't hungry, he said, and when he ate, it was quick, processed junk. Within months, he felt weaker, slept poorly, and fought constant tiredness. His daughter noticed the slide and nudged him back to regular meals, even simple ones. With small shifts, nutritious food, more water, his energy returned, his mood leveled, and he found himself better able to face his feelings. James learned the hard way. Ignoring health doesn't aid grief, it hampers it. Science confirms this. Losing a spouse raises risks for heart problems, weaker immunity, and mental decline. Grief stress can spike blood pressure, disrupt sleep, and shift eating. Some stop altogether, others turn to unhealthy comfort foods. Over time, these habits wear you down, physically and emotionally. Depression, anxiety, and despair can sneak in, especially if isolation stacks on. Yet many shrug off these signs, thinking it's just mourning. It doesn't have to be. You won't feel normal overnight, but small choices can keep your body strong as your heart mends. Self-care isn't just food, it's movement, sleep, and mental health too. Many stop exercising after losing a spouse, not from laziness, but because they've lost their partner in those habits. But staying active, a daily walk, a gentle stretch, cuts stress, boosts mood, even extends life. Joining a walking group can double the gain, mixing exercise with connection. Then there's skipping checkups. Overwhelmed, widows and widowers often delay medical care, but this is when it matters most. Regular visits, managing conditions, staying on meds, these anchor you when life feels unsteady. Mental health needs equal focus. Grief can spiral into deeper struggles if ignored. If you're sinking, don't wait. Talk to a counselor, join a grief group, confide in a friend. Seeking help isn't weakness, it's a healing step. James's turnaround came from his daughter's nudge, but his willingness to act sealed it. Your spouse would have wanted you to thrive, not just survive. Honoring them means living in a way that finds peace and strength, not sacrificing yourself to sorrow. It's fine to grieve deeply, to take your time, to feel the loss, but don't let it overshadow your well-being. You're still here, and that counts. Start small, a meal, a walk, a checkup. These aren't fixes but lifelines keeping you afloat in the storm. Your health isn't a luxury, it's the bedrock for what's ahead, a way to carry your spouse's memory without buckling under its weight. Underscore 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 underscore. 4. Rushing into a new relationship. Losing a spouse carves a vast emotional void, a hollow where love, routine, and companionship once flourished. In that wake, the silence can feel crushing, and the loneliness creeping in often whispers a tempting fix. Find someone new to fill the gap. For many, a new relationship seems like a lifeline, a way to dodge the suffocating solitude or reclaim normalcy. But diving into romance too soon after losing a spouse is a frequent misstep widows and widowers take, and it can bring more heartache than healing. Grief is a tangled, unpredictable path with no set timeline. Some might feel ready to date in months, others take years, or never do. There's no universal right speed, but when your emotions are still raw, the odds of jumping in for the wrong reasons soar. Often, the urge for a new partner isn't about true readiness. It's about numbing pain, escaping loneliness, or trying to recreate what's gone. These romances may spark with hope, excitement, relief, but without a steady base, they can crumble fast, leaving you more lost and hurt than before. Take Barbara, a 72-year-old widow who lost her husband of nearly 50 years. Months after his death, she met someone through a friend and leapt into a relationship. At first, it felt like a blessing. Someone to dine with, share quiet moments, pull her from choking loneliness. But as weeks turned to months, cracks appeared. The pace overwhelmed her, and she felt trapped, unready for the expectations piling up. She eventually pulled back, but the ordeal left her wishing she'd given herself more time to grieve and rediscover herself alone. A new relationship, she realized, should come from strength and clarity, not a frantic need for comfort. This isn't to say love can't bloom again. Many widows and widowers find rich, meaningful bonds later, beautiful proofs of resilience. But the strongest relationships grow when you've processed your grief, sat with your feelings, and rebuilt your sense of self. Rushing in can stir guilt, invite unfair comparisons to your late spouse, or tangle you in loyalty versus longing. Worse, it can expose you to ill-intentioned people. Scammers and opportunists often target the grieving, masking manipulation, financial or emotional, with affection. If someone presses for quick commitment or cuts you off from loved ones, those are red flags you can't overlook. What's the wiser route? Patience. Allow yourself to be alone, not as punishment, but as a gift. Use this time to reflect, heal, and rediscover what you want from life and love. Share your feelings with trusted friends or family. Their view can anchor you. If you date, go slow, ensuring your heart's open for the right reasons, not just to patch a wound. There's no rush for love, and the best relationships come when you're whole, not seeking completion. Grief is your path. Rushing it risks losing yourself along the way. 5. Holding on to every possession without letting go. When a spouse dies, their belongings become more than things. They turn into pieces of a shared life, each item a thread to memories, habits, and love. Letting go of even one can feel like cutting that tie, as if parting with a shirt or chair means losing them again. It's no surprise many widows and widowers cling to every possession, leaving closets untouched, shoes by the door, spaces frozen in time. While this urge to hold on is human, refusing to release anything can weigh you down, turning your home into a museum of grief instead of a haven for healing. Harold, a 76-year-old widower, wrestled with this after his wife of 55 years passed. Her shoes stayed by the entryway, her clothes hung in the closet, her favorite armchair sat empty, a quiet tribute to her absence. At first, keeping everything felt like keeping her near, a shield against her loss's finality. But months later, Harold noticed. Passing those untouched items didn't comfort him, it anchored him in sadness. The house felt heavy, a constant echo of what was lost rather than a place to live. Slowly, he started sorting. Not all at once, but bit by bit, donating some, keeping treasures like her favorite scarf and a handwritten note. To his surprise, letting go didn't erase her. It gave him room to breathe, heal, and move forward while holding her memory. There's no mandate to clear everything, or keep it all. Holding on to a few sentimental items, a watch, a letter, a photo, is a natural way to honor your spouse. The issue arises when every corner stays a shrine, unchanged for years. Over time, this can stall your emotional growth, making it harder to step into a new chapter. It's not about forgetting, often it's about surviving. A home of untouched relics can become a daily reminder of loss, not peace, quietly draining your energy and keeping you stuck. Balance is key, starting small. Choose a few items that truly matter, things that spark joy or tell a story, and give them a special spot. A jewelry box, a memory shelf, or a framed photo can hold their essence without overwhelming you. Then, when ready, sort the rest. There's no hurry, this is your pace. Some find solace in repurposing, making a pillow from an old shirt, compiling letters into a book, or passing heirlooms to family who'll treasure them. These keep your spouse's presence warm, not heavy. Watch out for outside pressure, though. Well-intentioned loved ones might push you to move on and clear out before you're ready, but this is your call. Yet clinging to everything out of guilt or fear can trap you in sadness longer than needed. Letting go isn't betrayal. It's self-compassion, honoring your spouse by giving yourself space to live. No object can replace them, and no amount of holding on brings them back. What counts is the love you shared, etched in your heart, not your home. By releasing what you can thoughtfully and gradually, you make room for healing, carrying them in a way that lets life and love go on. Underscore 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 underscore. Conclusion: tools for the journey ahead. Losing a spouse is one of life's most wrenching experiences, reshaping how you live, think, and see the future. That pain isn't just emptiness, it's the burden of sudden decisions crashing down on you. But amid this emotional storm, every choice you make holds the power to shape your healing path. Avoiding these 5 pitfalls, rushing into big financial decisions, isolating yourself, neglecting your health, jumping into a new relationship too soon, and holding on to every possession without letting go, protects your heart and your future. This isn't just about dodging mistakes, it's about navigating this tough phase with clarity, dignity, and the support you deserve. Grief has no set expiration, and no one can force you to get over it their way. But one thing's certain, you don't have to endure it alone. Give yourself time, lean on loved ones, and don't shy from seeking help when needed. Healing doesn't mean forgetting your spouse. It's learning to carry their love in your heart as a source of strength, not a crushing weight. Moving forward isn't leaving them behind. It's living with purpose, peace, and even moments of joy ahead. You're not alone on this road. Ask yourself, what from these insights struck you most? What will you apply to step forward? Share your thoughts. Each small move is